Alright, in yesterday's video, for some reason, I was getting some video, or sound, but no video. Not sure really what was going on with that. So, hopefully this will come out with video. So, there's the part number for the hub. Now, I did not need to replace my hubs. I was planning on getting new hubs so that I could put in the new ARP studs, but things have changed, and I'll explain that in another video. But we're going to go ahead and install these hubs. This is my part number. I'm going to go ahead and install this into the hub bearing. And how we're going to do that, we're going to use the same tool that we use to put the hub bearing in. We're going to use the same tool to mount the hub so we don't beat on it. So I'm going to get that all set up real quick, and then I'll show you what I did. Alright, so there's our hub. It has these nice hardened studs in it. This one even comes with the part number. I believe that's the right part number. Let's double check. Yep, it comes with the part number on it, so that's kind of cool. So you can at least have that. Again, two different boxes for my hubs, but with the same part number. So I guess it's just whatever stock they had available, and that's what they shipped. We're going to use the, let's see, let's turn it over. The number 9. This is going to go on the back side of our hub, and it will pull the hub into the bearing from this side. When we get close to finishing off, we will have to take this off, just to make sure that we have plenty of clearance to make it past the bearing, but that'll be here in a second. And then we're just going to get this set up real quick, and I'll show you that. And on the face side of the hub, I am using the number 13 because it fits nicely inside there. That'll help it pull straight, so you won't get it crooked. And so we just need to get enough spacers so that we will have just enough thread sticking out that we can grab onto. Okay. So that's what we have. You can see that the threads just about come to where the threaded parts end. So that means that we've got a good couple inches in there. Everything is centered now because it centers through the bearing. And this one here in the front centers to the hub. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. It does take both hands until it gets a little tighter. And then it should start to pull itself in. Well, surprising, this one is actually going in fairly simple. Yeah, it's going in nice and easy. Oops, that was just the ratchet on the other side slipping. Now I do need both hands. It's starting to tighten up, and I need to hold that other wrench or ratchet. Okay, so there's a little bit of space left, and that's because the lip on that goes into the bearing a little bit, and it does not allow you to crush it down. So as soon as you get snug towards the end, you're going to want to take this off, and you're going to want to put the cup on here like we did to put the bearing in. So we needed, if I remember, it was the second to largest size. Yep. So we're going to put that on there on the back, and that will allow us to finish pulling that all the way in there nice and snug. All right, so this is how it's supposed to be set up. So you're just going to use the hat from the second to largest cup. This will give you enough thread sticking out to actually grab it. So the front side is still the same. We're using that small number, what was it, 6? No, the 6 is on the back side. I can't remember what size that was. Still so freaking tired. But now we have enough room because we have space between the hat and the back of the bearings. We're not, or the hub, so we're not going to have any problems. We're going to go ahead and tighten this up now. Alright, so it took like 4 more turns and now it's completely seated. So next thing we're going to do is get the CV unit assembled and back in the car and back into the hub, and then we will do the lower control arms. So that's our next steps. All right, back in a bit. And the reason why we have to do that, let's see if I can get around there a little bit, is because I'm gonna get my damn hands out of the way. You can see, oh, maybe you can see, maybe you can't. You can see that hub sticks out just a little past the bearings. So that's why we needed to change the hat out. And just like that, the jack shaft and the CV unit is pushed back together. I just stood them up on end like this, and I lifted it up about 1 inch with the 2 assembled and dropped it to the ground 3 times, and it slid directly into place. And now they don't want to come back apart again. That's good. So next thing we're going to do is feed the jack shaft into the transmission and get that all lined up. I did not replace my seals. The last time I did this and I didn't have leaking seals, is I didn't have any leaks afterwards, so that's a plus. If you had leaky seals, this would be a great time to replace it. But yeah, seems like the manual and the automatic share similar characteristics. So next thing is to get that splined in and get those bolts in there. Okay, so it shouldn't take too much force to get that jack shaft into the transmission, like 0 force, maybe just a little light push. Trick to getting this in: make sure your center bearing bracket is facing upwards as you go past your sway bar link, and once it's past, you can let it drop. If not, if you try to bring it in from the other side, you're going to hang up on everything over here. So and you'll know you're in, so the transmission, when the 2 studs on the block line up with the 2 holes in the carrier, and you can line everything up and then go ahead and put your bolts back in, which we're going to do right now. Alright, so we got our 3 bolts back in. Those are 14s in case we forgot. Got those tightened down, everything lined up. So now the jack shaft and the CV unit is back in place. Now I just have to replace the hub, double check our measurements, make any adjustments to the tie rod, and we'll be getting on that shortly. But here it is, the last week of October, and it's 92 degrees and I'm dying. So I'm going to take a short break, and I'll come back to this later.